Hi guys, I'm Daryl. I'm the founder of Break the Limits. We help advisors to break their limits so they can make more impact and income. For the last few years, we've been helping advisors to achieve their first MDRT, multiple MDRTs, or even COT as well. My firm belief is that when you win your inner game, that's where you have massive success in life. That's exactly the reason why I'm interviewing high-performing advisors to understand their inner game, the inner world, understand the challenges so that I can inspire you to get your unique breakthrough as well. With that being said, let's get started with today's episode. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of this podcast. I'm here with Jiale today. Right, he's the voice behind the attraction game. He's the leader at the Abundance Group, MDRT since 2019, and he has achieved one-time COT. And without further ado, Jiale, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hey Daryl, good afternoon to you. All right, hey everyone, my name is Jiale and I've been a financial consultant since 2012. All right, so it's been 11 years since. And it's been an incredible journey. I left NTU Art Design and Media. They call it ADM. You heard of the school?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the very first day to become a financial consultant. And it's been fulfilling since, never looking back. And I'm also a father of a 5-year-old boy and another boy coming out soon, starting end of the month. So
congrats on that.
Yeah, Joanne will be 37 weeks by the end of the month.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So I want to give the audience some context, like why as to I invited you to this podcast. So I met Jiale. No, I know Jiale first before I met him at 2019. I remember very clearly when I was starting out my journey as a coach. One of his content from Money Map left a huge impression on me. I remember you sharing in front of a huge audience, right? You're saying that, why am I doing all these videos? Why am I doing all this content? It's because I want to leave a legacy. If one day you die, all your content stays strong.
Okay.
And I was like, shit, that was exactly what I was doing. And I was facing a lot of judgment. And I'm like, this random stranger, I did not know you back then, can do it. Maybe I can as well. I think they gave me hope. And along the way, a lot of our mutual friends, Lenny, said great stuff about you. Like, this guy is damn kind. This guy is very nice. Cool. I'm like, I really want to get to know you. And I was stalking your content for about 1 to 2 years. And that's why you invited me, warmly invited me to your home. The very first thing that caught my eye, kindness is the ultimate strength.
Yeah, man.
Holy shit. When I saw Gary V. Yeah, from Gary V. When I saw that, I was like, hey, this man is different. This man is different. We had a very heartfelt conversation and I thought that there's a lot that I learned from you about how you always mention in Chinese, right? 先做人再做事.
Yes.
And how you be a human being, your character development, all of these things. I want to extract it today's session, for the audience to really understand it, so that they can probably be as inspired to follow the journey that you've been through, the last 11 years of hardship, so that they can achieve the success that you're enjoying today. So without further ado, right, probably you can share with the audience, how did you stumble on this career? Why did you quit uni, in fact?
Yeah, man. Wow. That brings me back to my origin story, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was growing up, I have always wanted to be a creative director. I have a knack for art and design and ADM was like that go-to school for me to, manifest that dream. And, but 6 months before school started, there was a break. That was right after NS.
Yeah.
I finished my national service and I had like 6 months, of spare time. So I thought like I should upload my resumes and see what part-time job I can land onto and then earn some part-time money before school starts. And then I was cold called. One of the recruiters put up my resume, called me and say, hey, do you want to explore being a financial consultant? And I'm like, I have no idea what a financial consultant is, but it sounds cool.
Okay.
Right? So why not let me, I have nothing to lose.
Yes.
Right? So I just go down for the interview. And at the interview table, she showed me a pay slip of 30,000. It was 28 or 30,000. I couldn't remember, but it was...
How old were you back then?
I was 21.
21, okay.
And so the amount, I mean, even today's dollar is still a big amount.
Yes.
Can you imagine 11 years ago? I wasn't expecting about 2-3K for a part-time job. I didn't expect a 30,000 pay slip, right? And she said it was a 28-year-old boy who made this amount in a month. Right? She didn't tell me it was a bonus, quarterly bonus month, but but it's still a lot of money, right? And so that piqued my interest. I'm like, okay, I have nothing to lose. So why not let me go and try Let me go and try out this business.
Yep.
Right. So I think the very next day I gave her the green light. I say, okay, I'm gonna take my papers, M5, M9, M9A, right? HI. And I went and take my papers. I passed all of them in one shot.
Wow.
And then I went to do what everyone else did, which is your cold calling, right? Your street canvassing. So I had to, face my fair share of rejections. And guess what? I only made 2004 in 6 months.
For real.
For real. A total of 2,400 worth of commission. In fact, it was only one policy. One kind soul, decided to give me his business, right? And it was one policy that gave me hope, that it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done. It's just that the agency that I joined, they're no longer here today, but the agency did not have a lot of support that I needed. So I went in, I was just like swimming in a deep sea, right? I didn't know what to do. There were no structures, no scripts, no peer support, very little training from the leaders as well. So most of the things, it was very much DIY. In fact, I was trained by my recruiter.
Yeah.
Who took PT on me, right? And I have to get by using, like part-time tuition. I gave part-time tuition on the side just to get by. Thankfully, I have no girlfriends back then. Right? No liabilities, no responsibilities, right? The only thing was like, my mom was like, don't take this too seriously, just go and play. And then when school begins, and you just go back to school.
True.
Right? But in the 6 months, apart from that meager 2004 commission that I earned, what I experienced was a lot of growth.
In what sense?
Character development, right? A lot of personal development growth. I found myself getting thicker skin, right? Where, because I'm an introvert and I'm very S and C profile. So S, right? That you behave like ships. You don't dare to approach people, right? But in that 6 months, I was forced to approach people on a Raffles Place, forced to cold call, forced to meet strangers for the first time. And I could feel that growth inside me, and I really loved that growth. So that growing process was painful, but the aftermath was good. I felt great growing, and I tell myself, hey, am I gonna go to school, spend 4 years in a library, right? Because the ADM curriculum is quite heavy, and then come out be a junior designer, start from scratch, and I'm not sure how much a junior designer will be paid, right? Or now that I've accumulated some experience here in a part-time financial planning industry, let me convert to full-time and let me double down into this, right? And so I did. And so I did. On the first day, I quit, and I told my mom only after I quit that, hey, I'm gonna be a full-time financial consultant. So it was the growth that fuels me, and that somehow deep inside me, I know I can do it.
Yep.
Right? I know I don't know where I got that.
The gusto, the gut
from, that calling or that reassurance from. But deep down, I know that I just need to meet the right mentor, be trusted into the right platforms, the right peer support group, and then I will be able to take off. And true enough, when that agency that I was initially in, they left for another insurer.
Yep.
I left behind and joined another group, which was full of support, scripts, mentoring, peer-to-peer. And then I took off.
Beautiful.
I took off.
So what I'm hearing from you is that in the first 6 months, you didn't have any tangible results. 2.4K FYC. And you had a lot of discomfort, but there's growth in it.
Yeah.
Naturally, as a student perspective, you're chasing your passion, this subject of interest that you like. How do you deal with the uncertainty of not knowing what's next for you and still say, let's go, let's make this work for me? What was going through in that 21-year-old Jiale's head?
In that 6 months?
In that moment, the split moment that you have to decide, right? Either I choose to be a student and go down this artistic path, or like, maybe now there's no tangible result, but I believe I can. What was happening during that conflict?
It was no conflict actually. For me, it was a very clear idea because, okay, at the start, 21 years old, I was looking for money, right? I wanted to, as much as I want to pursue my passion, I want to make sure that it pays. Right? And we all know how much junior designers are paid, right? And I wonder if I want to spend 4 expensive years, because I have to pay for school fees,
right,
to come out and make maybe 2004.
Yep.
Right? Whereas right now, yes, I haven't gotten my results, but in 6 months, I experienced closing a deal that paid me the same amount right now that could have been, that maybe I need to wait 4 years and pay expensive fees for to earn in a month. Then I'm like, then it makes sense for me to try harder.
Yeah. Understood. Which leads to the next question, right? You mentioned it in the beginning, without the right support, everything was a struggle. What helped besides the fact that, with mentorship, with guidance, with scripts and everything, you flew? Share with us the journey in terms of the last probably 9 years, because that was the first year, yeah?
Yeah.
How was the last 9 years looking like? So the audience can understand your journey.
What was the 9 years?
Yeah, the 10 years. How was that like?
From the beginning until
From
now?
the beginning, if you can summarize,
Wow.
but while still grasping out the importance milestone in your career. How was that like? So that we can see the behind the scenes.
Okay. I guess the first 6 months was horrible. That was how our phrase or categorize that first 6 months. It was horrible. It was a lot of doing things alone, figuring things out on my own, and not much of a support from the leaders.
Yep.
And then thereafter, I transited to the next group, and I spent another, I think, 4 or 5 years there, or 6 years, with a lot of support system, right? And that was where I actually, in the second month that I joined the battle team, I already made my first 5 digits.
Beautiful.
Right? And so that just proved to me that it can be done.
Yeah, and that was where you were 22.
22, yes.
Yeah.
22.
Wow. Okay.
It just proved to me that my theory of I just need a better support system, better platform, better mentor to bring the result out of me, right? But I still take another from year 0 to 7 years to hit my first MDRT.
Walk us through the
Right.
journey, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I can summarize, I don't like to chase after MDRT for the sake of MDRT. Right. If I can summarize that 7 years, I went out for all the different courses that I can. Chris Chan, Eric Feng, right? Of course, all the internal company levels training programs as well. I guess I'm a learner.
Yep.
Right. In my strengths finder, I'm a learner. Right. I love to read. I love to go attend courses and pick out the different ideas from different people, different masters. And I understand that, financial planning is a long game. It's an infinite game. Right. And I shouldn't play it finite. Right. And I don't like to use sales, tactics to close my client. In fact, I don't like the word close. Right. I don't like the word close. The word close is very salesy.
Yeah.
Right. I like to recommend a solution and the client take up. Right. We go through the application. Right. Instead of saying close. But of course, in a sales context, we use the words close. We use the words proposal. Right. But I don't like any of that. But just to bring back to the point, I don't like to chase after MDRT for the sake of MDRT. So I never like to run for sales. I like to focus on my own growth and let my goal be a natural byproduct.
That's beautiful.
Right. So I always wanted to grow myself such that growth can produce an MDRT
Year on year
as a natural byproduct.
I love
without me chasing after it.
Yeah, it comes.
Yeah, and it comes. But the first 7 years, I tell you, because there are so many MDRT producers around me.
Yeah.
This mindset, I find that there are very few advisors that adopt this mindset. Right. So I was very lonely at that point in time.
I can imagine.
Yeah. I was very lonely because I even spoke to one of my idols back in my company. He has been hitting his roundtables for I think 2-3 years. And mind you, the roundtables back then were 120,000.
Yeah, were higher.
FYC, not like today's one at 72, discounted. All right. So he was there. I was up there, and I spoke to him this idea. I want to focus on my growth and let my goal be a natural byproduct. I want my MDRT to manifest itself. Then he says, "You'll never be an MDRT producer like that." Then the more I want to do it for him. I didn't reply him. Directly, but in my mind, it's like, okay, I will make it work then, and then I will show it to you.
And you were really young now. What seeded that thought though?
That thought of
like, I want to do it organically, not like chasing after accolades, just like really chasing after growth. Where did that belief, right, or that idea seeded from?
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest, but I never found joy running for sales targets. Like, to me, it's meaningless. It's just it's just numbers, right? Created by men.
Yep.
And you're supposed to hit that benchmark just because, right? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't make sense to me. And we're dealing with people here, right? We're not dealing with sugar canes, right? We're dealing with people, not target boards, right? And so I really want to put the humanness back into the business. I want to, every single one of them, I treat them like my friend.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you wouldn't do this to a friend. I wouldn't want to, hard sell, force sell, right? Or manipulate my friend, because guess what? People will find out, right? They don't find out now, they find out later, right? Then it's not an infinite game anymore.
Agree.
Right? Yeah. So to me, okay, maybe it's also because I quit my U, I have no backup plans, right? And it was like between advisory and school, I picked advisory, and my highest qualification is A levels, which they don't recognize in Singapore. So it's O levels. So this is my backup plan. I have no backup plans. I have no retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to make this work.
So with that belief that I have to make this work, you're playing an infinite game.
I have to make it sustainable.
Yes, correct. Which allows you to have patience, at the same time the vision to endure the first 7 years of not getting the awards that most top producers are getting. And you have to be patient with that.
I have to be patient. Yeah, I have to be patient. Of course, it was not easy.
Yeah.
Because to see them go up on stage and
for sure,
you doubting yourself, like, am I doing the right thing? Should I just pivot over to become COC? Is that the way to go? Is that the way to succeed in this business? Right? Like so you have many self-doubts. And
what helped you like break through out of that resulted to your first MDRT? Share with us.
It was just a matter of time. Right? Like I recently shared this concept called chasing butterflies versus building a garden. Right? Like if you chase after butterflies, you're gonna get butterflies faster in your net. Right? But if you build a garden, it'll take some time. Right? But once you build a garden, the butterflies just come. Right? And they keep coming. Right? But you have to, it takes time for you to build a garden. Right? So I guess it was time just time. The garden was built on the 7th year, the butterflies come, and they have been coming ever since.
Wow. Very happy for you, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Like as you're sharing this, right, I'm very inspired because I see a lot of advisors, the majority of them, I would say, panicking after KPIs, sales targets managers set on them.
Yeah.
And they have to feel the anxiety, the worry, the stress, which I probably believe the first 7 years was like that for you as well. But deep down within yourself, there's this very clear vision that you're fighting for.
Yeah.
There's this philosophy that I want to make business with that human element in it.
Yep.
I don't want to be salesy. And that was probably the driving force behind how you push through that and achieve today's success. And walk us through what was your thought process when you first created Money Map, where I saw you then.
Yeah. Oh, Money Map was a creation out of desperation.
Why so?
Right? Because back in the second agency that I joined, they have very good lead gen system. All right. So that actually helped me boost my business for the first three years. All right. And thereafter, we lost the partnership for the lead gen. And then we have to find our own lead gen. And then from that moment, it came upon a realization that we cannot just depend on lead gen, right? That will not be sustainable because lead gen can go away.
Other people's garden, in a way of describing it.
Other people's garden?
As compared to you building your garden to attract the butterflies. It's other people's garden.
You can say that.
Yeah.
You can say that. Yeah. And there's no permanent lead gen, strategy, I would say. Yeah. Roadshow used to work very well. It's not working as well right now.
True.
Right? Facebook lead gen used to be working super well, but it is not as well. It's still working, but not as well. So the law of diminishing return, I would say. Right? And so I started to pivot away from that lead gen. I went to do seminars for my friends. So back then, my friends graduated from university, and just nice, I was about 3-4 years in business. I say, hey, why not let me create a deck on investment and money management, and I invite my friends to come and listen to me talk, right, about money.
Yeah.
Right, and then I invited about 3 groups of good friends, right, each time about 30 packs, right, so I filled up about 90 seats in total across 3 occasions, and these were, of course, amazing friends that gave me the support. The follow-up ratio was high, and thereafter the recommendations that I recommended, the took-up rate was quite high as well, right? But then I ran out of friends to invite, right? Because you only have so many friends,
Yeah,
right?
agree.
I didn't go to the U, right? So
Yeah.
a big part of that could have been friends were not there.
Yeah.
And then that was when I paid a digital agency to do lead gen for me, to invite people come down to listen to me talk about money. But the result was very bad because I paid 1,200 for 10 people and none of them signed up.
Yep.
Right. And then it got me thinking, who am I to even command this kind of authority? I'm no authority. I'm no Adam Khoo or Tony Robbins. Right? If Adam Khoo and Tony Robbins were to pay the same $1,500, $1,200 for the same agency, they would have invited more people down, and more people would have gone in for the next level of things. Right? So that was where I realized that I need to put myself out there first.
And how old were you, if you don't mind me asking?
That was 2015 or 2016.
And how old were you?
This year is 2023, right?
Yeah.
So it's about 6 years ago, about 26.
26 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
26 years old.
And you had the realization.
The realization that
if I'm not someone, nobody will come to my events and listen.
Yeah, nobody will come to my events. I need to be a someone.
Yeah.
Right? I need to let people get to know me first. So let me put value out there first in the market.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So what was at the point in time, what was the pain point of the market? The pain point is that people generally find insurance complicated.
Yep.
They still do, but not as complicated now, because there's explosion of financial blocks and whatnot. But back then there were not many, right? So I wanted to be one of the first to go out there and simplify things for people.
Yep.
Right? So I created my own video series called Money Map.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
And when you're doing that series, which I assume that a lot of people don't want to put ourselves out there because of fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of rejection, yada yada. What were some fears or some inertia that you had when you're doing that? And how do you overcome that?
Well, I mean, I have no prior experience in recording myself.
Especially you mentioned you're introvert.
I'm introvert, yes. Yeah. And looking at the camera and talk to the camera, it's as scary as speaking to a group of people in front of you.
For sure.
Physically, yeah. Like different fears, but still fear, right? Yeah. Because you must understand that when you record a video, it must be well done.
Yes.
It's done one time and it's there permanently, right? So there were many NGs and whatnot. So that were the fears. And of course, the fear of, like, will people actually watch it? Would it be simple enough for people to understand? Yeah. But those fears, they melt away after some time because the watch rate was okay. And people come back and tell me that they benefited a lot from the videos. Not only, laymen, but advisors themselves. Some leaders even tell me that they use my videos for training. And so that was very flattering, and that fuels me, and that gave me more confidence in wanting to roll out more videos.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that yes, no doubt there were the fears. But instead of letting it hold you back, you realize that as I get better at it, familiarity kills the fear. And then the affirmation from people supported you and fueled you to do it again and again.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And not that I have any choice, right? Like no backup plans in the first place.
I think it goes back down to the why again.
Yeah.
Your why is so strong that I'll make this career work.
Yep.
Which is why, regardless, whatever tactics, tools, and strategies that you have in front of you, you will just say, let's go, game on.
Yeah.
Like instead of saying, I don't want, is this uncomfortable? You're just like, let's figure out how this works.
Yeah.
And added by the fact that you're a learner, you love learning stuff. So it's like, you don't give yourself excuses, but I'm an introvert, but cannot. You're like, cool, let's go.
Yeah.
And I'll just evolve and I'll just improve.
Yeah.
And which led to today's, evolution of it. For Money Map, now is the Advisors of Advisors podcast.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, now
man.
The next question. What led you to have this epiphany? I want to build this podcast around it, the interview show.
Okay. So after Money Map, if I can go back to Money Map, right?
Yeah.
So after Money Map, I did about 60 over videos for Money Map, and I thought it was time to put it on pause, right? Like, at that point in time, I think it pivoted to, it was COVID-19, and many advisors started to ask me on how to build a brand, right? How to do these videos like myself, how to, stand out in the business. And so they have been reaching out to me, DMs, texts, or in person over coffee. And I always find a joy to share, right? And since I'm sharing, I thought to myself, why not just let me put a camera there while I'm sharing?
I watched those videos, I remember.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
I call it Dear Advisors.
Yes. Coffee shop. You just record at the side.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct. And it was like Samsung phones.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
No
Samsung
excuses.
quality. Yes.
Yeah, no excuses. Just whack only. I love
just
it.
whack. Yeah. And I did the editing myself.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't want to spend money back then to edit videos. And then it became a second series called Dear Advisors. Right? And it was well received. I did another 60 over videos of Dear Advisors, and once again, I think the season for it ended. Right? It just felt like it had come to a season where I have to put it down and start something again. And since I have built a brand for myself, it was easy for me to reach out to other powerhouses in the business, right? I'm a learner. I want to learn from the other producers how they do their things, right? And I know that not everyone has the opportunity to reach out to these people.
Agree.
Because these people are so busy. And these people, they cannot reach out to everyone's request, right? But because I have a brand, I can reach out to them on behalf of everyone and ask questions on behalf of everyone and then just put it on YouTube and Spotify so everyone can get to learn, right? Of course, I get to learn myself. That's a selfish intent. I want to learn myself.
I can resonate.
Right? But while I'm learning myself, like, I just put a camera there so that everyone else can learn as well.
Why
so
not?
That's a selfless intent. Yeah, why that the thing is why not? Right? And I pay, an amount just to edit those videos and why do people get to benefit from it? So the answer is why not? Yeah.
Beautiful, well said. And let me, I prepared a question for you, in fact. So since, you speak a lot about attracting clients instead of hunting for clients, right?
Yeah.
And I personally believe that one must be self-aware to understand yourself so well to attract people who are like you.
Yeah.
Which boils down to one thing that Gary Vee always mentions, self-awareness.
Yeah.
How did you harness self-awareness since your 21 years old self all the way to now this age, this current version, right? How did you harness that self-awareness?
Harness self-awareness.
Yeah.
My God. I guess by nature, I'm a very introspective person, right? I always reflect on my experiences. That's one. That's by nature.
Yeah.
And number two, I read a lot. I mean, I'm a learner. I love to read. I'm a boring person. So yeah, I have a lot of books at home. And as you read, you get exposed to different ideas and you start to reflect again, like, oh, is your idea the best one? Is there a better idea? Right? So it's like a computer system where, you pull some parts apart, you put some parts in, right? Constantly trying to find the best parts for every season, right? Yeah. So if this part is no longer serving you or working for you, then you remove it. You put some other parts in that you picked up from books, from mentors, from the interviews that you have, and you
piece it back.
Yeah, then it's a new computer, new system working for you. Right? Garbage in, garbage out, right? Yeah. So I guess self-awareness comes from for me being introspective, reflecting upon my experiences, and also constantly reading and learning and upgrading. Yeah.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to the audience watching this right now, right? For them to be self-aware first, in order for them to be aware of the strengths and weaknesses, what kind of ideal audience or clients that they can serve best at, what would you recommend them to do?
Oh, wow. What I recommend them to do?
Yeah.
To become self-aware?
Yeah.
For example?
Like when I was really young, probably your age, 21 years old, I'm not confident as a person. I don't know what am I good at. Am I really meant for this industry, that industry? I don't know anything about it myself. In fact, what kind of clients can I serve? I don't even know. Am I running a business for good or should I do employment? One thing that I do for myself is taste more, experience more stuff. And like what you mentioned, introspection, I fully agree. But apart from that, any other things in your life journey, right, that allowed you to be so aware about yourself so that you can articulate yourself so clearly to the market that this is me, really me. You want, you like, you can't find me. You don't want, it's fine. What helped you with that journey? Yeah.
I guess before you spoke about the taste more, one word came out to my mind is expose. Right? Which is, something similar to what you say, get yourself exposed to the different, industries, right? Different mentors, different masters in the business, different producers, and hear from their point of views and see if any one of theirs contradict with yours and start thinking about it. Right? Like, how come, you can be the same age as this person, but he thinks differently from you, right? That challenges your point of view, right? And when something challenges my point of view, it's exciting for me because, number one, that person might be wrong or the person might be right. If the person is right, I'm glad I chanced upon this challenge because then I want to improve and delete my programming and install new programming. Right. And I find that when I speak to different people, I read different books and I get exposed to different seminars, right? It doesn't have to be just, financial planning seminars. It can be properties, right? It can be, MDRT, right? It can be, for example, Tony Robbins, right? From different people, different exposures. When you hear what they say and you look within yourself to see if any of them challenges you.
So what I'm hearing from you is more of like the introspection comes from the exposure,
Yeah.
right? It comes hand in hand, like inhale, exhale. When you experience more stuff with more exposure, then you start reflecting, do I feel aligned with this?
Yep.
And that make you feel more self-aware. And now I want to ask you, right, how did self-awareness help you in your attraction game though?
Of course.
How did they help you?
Once you are self-aware, you know what you stand for, you know who you are as a person, then you just need to communicate that. And once you communicate that, that is your language, that's a philosophy, that's a way you see life, then you're going to just attract, your vibes just going to attract your tribe.
Oh, well said,
Right?
attract your vibes.
Yeah.
You can, what did you say again? That was them.
Your vibe.
Your vibe attracts your tribe. Oh, I love that. So that kind of that kind of like created the attraction game from there.
It is.
Like when you're so self-aware, which is what Gary Vee always talk about,
Yep.
your kindness, your humility, I think that's what attracted me to you as well. And then you amplify on it, you run with it.
Yep.
That was how you created your MDRT since like 2019. The first 7 years, you were just patiently waiting with the vision in mind. I want to run with a philosophy that I want to introduce humanness in the business. Then from there, you keep studying a lot of grades, put those beliefs that's better than yours into your mind. And with that, you create and compound, letting people know what you truly believe year after year, year after year. Don't see results yet. The result that you want, no issue, patience.
Yep.
So if I can summarize, that was your first 1 year all the way to maybe a 7 or maybe even currently. If you enjoyed the podcast so far and you're curious to experience the life coaching for yourself, to implement the methods that we teach so that you can see more breakthrough in your income, I highly encourage you to sign up for our complimentary masterclass. Click the link anywhere around this podcast, or you can check it out in any of our social media accounts. And right now, let's get back to the podcast. So share with us the next question, right, which I'm going to ask you, right? How has management been? I know this is a new exciting journey for you.
Yeah.
Right? Every chapter, you're constantly expanding, breaking your limits, right?
Yep.
How has management career or like, this journey been for you?
Chaotic. Yeah.
Honest,
Yeah, man.
Yeah. How was it like? Just share with the people the nitty-gritty of things.
The backstory is I didn't want to be a leader in the first place.
I know you had a conversation at your place.
Yeah. So never wanted to be a leader. Always just wanted to be a financial advisor, right? And somehow the calling came, especially after I hit 2 years of MDRT, I started to see that I can, duplicate more of myself, right? I guess my friend shared with me this concept, which makes a lot of sense, which is there are 3 phases that we are in, right? The first phase is success, second phase is sustain, third phase is scale. So the reason why I have rejected leadership was probably because I was still at the success stage. I was trying to gun for my first success.
Yes.
Right. And after I'm successful, I'm trying to sustain it, right? Before I can scale, right? So I wasn't even at success or sustain. How can I even think of scaling? That was my idea.
Yeah.
Right. So when I decided to become a leader, or when the calling came, just nice, I was already at the sustain stage, right? And I was moving into a season of scaling, duplicating myself.
For sure.
Right. And of course, the different signs from the universe also pointed me towards the direction.
Yep.
Right. There were people already calling upon me, DMing me and see if they can join me, even though I was not officially a leader yet. And so I took that as signs from the universe that, okay, it's time for me to step up, right? And become a leader and see how things go.
And on that note, right, now I'm trying to fuse attraction game plus just so happen, this timely transition towards leadership. Right?
Yeah.
How has the attraction game contributed to your leadership journey?
Oh, wow. It's amazing because the attraction game has definitely made the leadership journey in terms of recruitment a lot easier, a lot easier, right? Now, I have no intention to become a leader, but when I found that calling, all the years of content helped me to bring in the right people, right? Because I just remembered I broadcasted it saying that, okay, I'm starting a team. Then overnight, I have a beeline of people waiting for me.
Wow.
To want to, find out more.
Majority of the managers, directors have this challenge, right?
Yes. In which many people have the challenge. But because I was so clear in what I was looking for, who am I as a person? What kind of team I want to build, right? And so these people who would have already been following me for a while, and they only follow me because they like my vibe, right? If they don't like my vibe, they won't be part of my tribe.
For sure.
Right. They won't be following me, and hence they won't be part of that beeline.
Yeah.
But because of the years of content and years of followers that have been built along the way, these people just come as a natural byproduct, right? Of course, not everyone joined my team, right? Some eventually went to join other people. Some I chose to, reject them because I feel that they're not good fits. By the way, it's only about talking about good fits, right? It's no right or wrong, right? It's whether these two people can come together like a marriage, right? You both agree to come together, right? So overnight, I think in a couple of short months, the team was 7 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing that I want to understand. Like because all the while you mentioned to me is like it was just evolving after evolving. It's like just so happened timely, what do you call it? Occurrence.
Yeah.
That like inspired to do the next project. And share with us, right? In terms of a vision that excites you. Usually for other advisors that, I've spoken to them 4-5 years in the business, they're like down, purposeless, empty, confused. But for yourself, you're growing, evolving year after year, What is the thing that's keeping you driving so strongly? What keeps you going? What's your vision that you set for yourself? If you wouldn't mind sharing that.
I don't have a vision for the I don't have a grand vision for the industry, unlike some other powerhouses in the business. They say they want to change the industry.
Yeah.
Right. I don't really. In fact, someone just asked me this question this morning, and I said I plainly just want to work on myself. That's all. I just want to, like if you thought about memento mori.
Yes.
Right, in Latin, which means that remember your death. Right, you can die any day. Right, and I also read some books on, like
Tuesday Mori.
Yeah. 30 Lessons for Living, which is like the people who are dying. Some author interviewed people who are dying and asked them about their deepest regrets and all. So I start from the end in mind, which is if I'm gonna die, then what kind of person do I want to be? Right? Like how do I want to be remembered, right? Like what kind of value do I want to bring to the people here? It's not about collecting the most number of toys, right? Or earn the most amount of money. That doesn't matter to people. When you die, is what value do you bring to people? And so I always want to increase the value that I can bring to people within my means, of course, in terms of time, because I also have my kids and my family to take care of. But apart from catering time for them, how else can I bring value to the people around me? Around me as in it could be the other advisors, can be my clients, can be my own team. Like I don't know, like I just want to bring value to people. Yeah. That's it. That's it. And if I want to bring value, I make sure that I grow so that I can continuously bring value.
Yeah.
Now I cannot bring more value if I don't grow myself, right?
For sure.
Correct. So it's just okay, before I die, it could be today, it could be like 10 years down. I just wanna do this.
Live my best life.
Yeah. That's it.
Damn.
That's it.
Well, as you're talking, right, I think there's a lot of feelings I'm feeling here. I sense regret.
Yeah.
I think that one thing that drives you a lot that I'm sensing here is regret. I don't want to regret living a mediocre life. I don't want to regret to live a life that's chasing after toys, fancy stuff.
Yeah.
And then I look back and like, oh shit, that's how people remember me. The guy with fancy stuff.
Yeah.
So as a result of that, you really ask yourself, who do I want to be? Do I want to be the best version of myself? Which inspires the learner side of you to increase so high.
Yeah.
It's like, today is this the only knowledge I know? What if there is something else that I do not know?
Yeah, man.
And that drives you.
It's a rabbit hole, bro.
Yeah.
Once you go there, you're going to find out that actually you know nothing. The more you learn, the more you realize you know nothing.
Which leads to the next question I want to ask you. I can sense that a couple of core values that says damn strong,
Okay.
shiny in you. Genuine, authentic, kindness, and last one is humility.
Yeah.
Where did all these come from? One by one, let's just go in deeper, right?
Wow.
Authenticity, you're very authentic, which allows you to be you. You're self-aware first, and you're authentic, which allows you to have the attraction game. That you share everything about yourself.
Yeah.
You like me, you hate me, that's fine. Where did that came from first? Authenticity.
Wow.
Well, going damn deep, yes.
I have no idea, man, bro.
Slowly try to crack the code. Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Were you like this since young?
I guess I was. Well, I mean, the first people that molded me was my parents lah.
Yeah.
Especially my mom, right? Who was the main caregiver. And she has always been an authentic lady, right? She has always been someone who taught me to be kind, right? Having a lot of money doesn't matter if you're not nice, right? Yeah. So these are the things that were instilled in me, and to me, it's just as simple as why you want to be not who you are, like why you want to be not authentic. I just cannot fathom that idea. Yeah, like I just want to be who I am. Yeah, you can't make everyone like you.
And what did your parent, your mom, did or done that made you believe that you cannot make everybody like you? If you can remember, was this a specific incident?
No. I think they didn't teach me that. I think along the years I also learned. In fact, initially I wanted everyone to like me.
Okay.
Right? Like I think it's very natural that you want everyone to like you. But then after a while you realize that like if let's say Jesus or Buddha cannot make everyone like,
Agree.
then who are you to make everyone like you? Like there will be people that will be attracted to you. There will be people that will repel, and that's fine. Like that's fine.
So walk me through the journey. Your parents were authentic by nature. There was a lot of role modeling. And then there's this phase in your life where I want everybody to like me. I wish I can. Then there's this acceptance. What led to that acceptance of like, I just want to be me then?
What led to the acceptance? Wow. It was a slow realization, I guess. Yeah, there wasn't any one key trigger event. Yeah, but as you put more content out there, you get a fair share of haters, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They don't appear as haters per se, but of course, like
skeptics.
Skeptics will be one. Another would be like they of course, the extreme end will be people booing on you, right? But very rare of that. Very rare of that, because I don't put out nasty or negativity out there. So it's very hard for you to attract negativity when you don't put out negativity out there. When you have a pure intention, not many people are going to put you down. Yeah. So I don't get a lot of that. It's just very, very far and few between. But you get, from the response rate of your content, you tend to know that, hey, not everyone's on your side.
Yeah.
Right? But you'll get a fair share that will always
Support
be
you.
on your side.
For sure.
Yeah. And those are enough.
So correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm hearing from your journey is that since young, you have always been authentic. However, in the middle of the journey, you wish that more people can like my authenticity, like me.
Yeah.
But then towards the end, you have this realization because you've done enough of practice.
Yeah.
I just cannot convince every majority to like me.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
Yep.
But the authenticity has never left you. It was always there.
You have to have that authenticity as a baseline.
Yeah.
To even, attract and repel people.
Agree.
Right? Yeah, that's the bedrock.
So what did your mom done or did that showed you that this is the way of life? For example, did she say that was she very honest with her thoughts and feelings to everyone, and that you model after that, or what?
If I can remember,
Yeah.
My mom, the core lesson was kindness. Yeah, authenticity and all. Wow, to be frank, I cannot dig deep enough in this session to let you know.
Sure.
But it was just a lot
of kindness.
For now. Yeah, a lot of kindness from her. And
if you don't mind sharing, what was one incident that you always remember? The kindness from her that really moved you and shaped you to this version?
Kindness from her.
Yeah, or like a display of kindness from her.
It was an ongoing display of kindness. It was not like one single kindness. So I don't have at the point in time one very vivid event that I will mention. I don't have. Yeah, but it was an ongoing display of kindness even until today. Yeah.
Since young, and you just absorb and soak up all of this kindness, and you can't help it overflowing.
Yeah,
You
it's
just distribute to
unconscious. You see.
people.
Yeah. First 7 years of your life.
And I know that's what you've been doing,
unconscious.
Joanne. Your son.
Yes.
Yeah, and I watch you for the sideline. That's why I'm curious to find out how do you continuously create this this beautiful ripple effect, I would say.
Ripple effect. It's a beautiful way to coin it. I'm not sure if you caught this from Joanne's Insta story. She did mention that Joanne has been saying that he's happy, he's smart.
Yes.
Yeah, but I will always tell him that smart alone is not enough. Like you have to have a kind heart.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. In fact, initially it took me some time to teach him kind heart. He will say heart test.
Means what?
Heart test. You need to do a heart test.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I say no, not heart test. his kind heart, right? So now he can just rub it off. Whenever I say, hey, smart is good, but what is more important?
Kind
heart.
Yeah, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Probably subconsciously, your mom has done that so well.
Maybe.
Yeah, that you didn't even know what was happening.
Yep.
And now you're consciously programming and passing it on to your son.
Yeah. Of course, Gary Vee also did his fair share of,
For sure.
imparting this kindness, in business. Yeah.
Kindness is beauty. Yeah, I want to build my tower without destroying others' tower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what you adopt to the philosophy, and that's what you truly carry out.
Yes.
Which attracted me to you for sure.
Yeah.
And the next question I want to ask you, right, was this. Was there a period in your life or your career where your limits were tested, and how did you break that?
Limits were tested.
There were a lot of doubts, a lot of limits that you set upon yourself subconsciously. How do you break out of that?
As a leader or as an advisor?
Whichever that you feel that was the most trying times.
Wow.
Yeah, that you can inspire the audience to share with them.
I guess the most vivid one, the most recent one is as a leader, I guess. Yeah, as a leader, once you step up to become a leader, and I only have at this point of recording about close to 2 years of leadership, under my belt.
Yep.
Right. And you have to set up systems and structures, SOPs for your people to follow.
For sure.
Right. And the setting up of these structures and systems and SOPs really took a toll on me. Yeah, it took a toll on me so much that I got shingles just right after I got promoted.
Wow.
Yeah, shingles it's a re-episode of your chicken pox, right? And so if you have chicken pox and you pass that phase, they will be dormant inside your body, the virus, right? But when your immune system goes so low, they will resurface as shingles, right? And it's super bad pain. Yeah. I didn't know shingles can be that pain. I got shingles for about 2-3 months.
Wow.
And it was because I was very stressed, trying to set up systems for them, right? And everything was built from scratch. The foundation work of things. Yeah.
For sure.
So that was very, very trying.
How do you overcome that?
One day at a time, right? Because once you have brought in people, they are under your wing now. Like you have to help them succeed, right? You have to be responsible. Your rice bowl, it's dependent on you. Of course, not you alone, right? Yeah. They also have a fair share to play, but now you're the leader, so you have to set the way. You have to, carve the way out for them. And so I was trying to build the systems and structures so that they, like for example, coming out with a retirement calculator, right? Come out with an introductory deck for everyone. Come out with scripts for everyone, right? Come out with investment decks that they can use, right? Or if they are doing webinars, right? I'll be the one to speak, right? So all of these things are created from scratch, right? And if you create them from scratch, it's not going to be easy. It's like building another garden all over together.
A different garden now.
Yeah. And at the same time, I must balance with my own sales.
For sure.
And my family.
Yeah.
And so was tough.
So what were one belief, I know one that you mentioned just now was powerful, one day at a time, that gave you patience, that you don't fault yourself, don't doubt yourself too hard.
Yeah.
Apart from that, what other belief, right, was able to push you through during those trying times?
Oh, wow. Okay. One thing that came to my mind is that if God is going to give you this challenge, then He knows you can handle it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. It's not religious, but spiritual.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I believe in God.
Yep.
Right? Whatever manifestation that you believe in, right? I believe in God, and I believe that whatever challenge that He throws onto you, it's something that you can already handle, or else He won't give it to you in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, it will have you torn apart and broken down. But that is how you become a newer, better version of yourself. Just
well said.
How an olive is being crushed to get oil. A grape is being crushed to get oil.
Yep.
A knife has to be put through fire, right? Like all of these things only tell us one thing, that to grow, you have to break down.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. You'll be broken down first before it can be forged into something.
For the breakthrough can come.
Yeah.
There's a breakdown.
Before you break through, right?
Yeah.
I break down before you break through. So I always, whenever I go through this kind of challenging and trying times, I take heart that this is something that's molding me to become something even more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't make it less painful. it just makes it more
Bearable.
bearable. That's the
Yeah.
word. Yeah, more bearable.
Understand.
Yeah.
I think there's one book that I read from Viktor Frankl, right? So they say that life in search of meaning, there's no such thing as lesser suffering, but there's stronger meaning that is worthy of the suffering.
Oh yeah.
And I think you
You're right
demonstrated that really, really well.
Yeah.
You expressed that, which leads me to three good questions, right? That I want to ask you, right? One, right, is that what advice would you give for advisors who are constantly telling themselves that I got no leads, right? Which is, I think, a typical challenge that advisors face. Knowing your last 10 years, 11 years of journey, right? What advice would you give them?
Wow. Okay. Well, first of all, this is a self-employed business, right? We have to take ownership, right? Meaning you can't just wait there and wait for leads to fall onto your laps. You can't wait for your leader to take action. You have to move, right? Back then when I know leads, I went to all of my clients and sit down and drink kopi with them, right? Just to maintain connection, talk about life, right? And sometimes because of these casual conversations, a referral comes. Sometimes they have a new need that they have not revealed to me, and then we went on and expand on that need, right? So things can happen from just casual conversations and catch-ups, right? Or you can catch up with your friends and tell them, hey, I just really want to catch up, and really not go there and do a sales presentation. Just catch up as a normal human being, right? When I was facing leads issue, I even went to Takashimaya. There is that square over there.
Yes.
They often host roadshow.
Yes.
Right. There was like baby roadshows, baby fairs. Right. I would just camouflage myself in and talk to the parents to be.
Wow.
Right. And say, hey, you want to talk about prenatal planning?
Yeah.
Right.
The hunger is there.
The hunger is there. Yeah. And it's you have to put your ego down to do that, because then I was already doing Money Map and maybe even Dear Advisors. I cannot remember the timeline. But I have to do it. I'm hungry. I need to feed myself. I'm not waiting for my leaders to move. If they don't move, I move. Right? This is my business, not their business. Right? This is my business. Right? I even went to a floating platform. There was a roadshow there. And I paid money and go inside and it was BB Fair also. And I went to talk to some parents. And some of the parents there turned into my clients, are still clients today. Thank
you for sharing the story.
Yeah, and you have to do whatever you can to get to know new people.
Yep.
Right? Ask for referrals. There's so many courses on referrals.
For sure, Chris Chan.
Right? Chris Chan. Right? Why don't you just go and learn these things yourself and execute it? Right? I think having no leads is legit, but it shouldn't be an excuse.
Well said.
Yeah,
it's legit, but that's
legit.
That's shouldn't be that.
But if you can concurrently build the garden while catching butterflies,
which is content online,
which is content, personal branding, right? I would say a personal brand consists of two parts, right? The online and offline brand, right? The online brand would be your publicity, your marketing, and your offline brand will be your substance, how good you really are, right? Like your technical skills of things. You have to work on both. Right, and that is called building a garden, right? Built on the form and the substance.
Agree.
Right, the icing and the cake. Right, there's no point the icing is so beautiful, but the cake sucks, right? Yeah, the icing and the cake has to be strong, and that's called building a garden, where you attract butterflies. If you can do that concurrently, then you will find that soon enough you don't need to catch butterflies anymore. You don't need to do roadshows. Don't need to do cold calls and ask for referrals. Yeah, they'll come. Asking for referrals become passive referrals.
For sure.
Right? And doing reviews with your clients over and over again across the 3 pillars of financial planning. If you will do that religiously every single year, right? Won't they refer you?
For sure.
Well, yeah, because you're doing a good job, You're always there. And you're always there to give advice, not to sell.
Yeah.
Right? Now, sales will come as a byproduct of good advice.
Agree.
Right? Yeah. So your intention is to give good advice, not to sell.
Well said. If I can distill that for the audience to really listen, because you share a lot of gem. I think the biggest difference that you just mentioned, right, is taking ownership. Shifting their perspective from passive to active.
Yeah.
Really having that willingness to solve the problems instead of complaining about the problems. I think that will create a drastic change in their career.
Yeah.
Right, if I can distill that way. The next question I want to ask you, right, is this. Now knowing the 10 years experience that you've known today, what would you give an advice to yourself, that young 21-year-old self? when you first started a career? What's one advice would you give him that would really speed up his entire career to today's version?
One advice that I'll give myself, back to my younger self.
Back to your younger self, 10 years ago, younger self.
Wow. Maybe don't compare.
Don't compare.
Yeah.
With what?
With
Anyone.
peers, anyone, right? I mean, that's the first thing that pops into my mind. I mean, even now, like, you know, because of my season of my life, sometimes I unfairly compare myself with the other peers who are leaders and building big teams, doing very well without kids, right? Yeah, and it took me some time to pull myself out, because even though I'm introvert, you know, like I'm competitive by nature, right? I still want to strive and do well, right? Make a name for myself. And when I see my peers doing extremely well, and sometimes I'll be like, am I missing out anything, right? Is it that I'm not hardworking enough? But if you do that unfairly to yourself, you will jeopardize your own internal peace,
for sure,
right? Because to be fair, you know, everyone begins at different starting points, right? And to be fair also, like, you know, I made a conscious decision to become a present dad, you know, a hands-on dad. And that also means that I need to take time out to play with my kid, right?
For sure.
And you know, I've seen advisors who outsource their children to helpers, right? Some of them even say up to 90%, 100% of their kids to helpers. Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that, right? Different philosophies. There's no right or wrong. But if, let's say, I were to compare myself with someone who outsourced 100% of their children to helpers, and there, on the other hand, I am, you know, putting in my time and effort, then obviously it's not on a fair ground to compare in the first place. So I would say, don't unfairly compare yourself. Yeah, don't unfairly compare.
Which brings a lot of inadequacy, right?
It does.
A lot of these kind of self-doubts, not good enough, guilt, disappointment in yourself.
It does. Yeah, it affects your inner peace, and it makes yourself more volatile. And when your mood and feelings are affected, it affects everything else, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it affects your relationship with your loved ones.
For sure.
It will spill over to you know, your dates, or your catching up with your friends and family members. They manifest. They manifest. 100%. Yeah. So one thing that I did recently is that I removed myself from, or rather, I don't spend a lot of time on social media anymore. I create content and I try to get out as soon as I can. Right? I don't dwell. Right?
You are now a producer, not a consumer.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Somebody said it using this analogy, which is a bit crude, but it makes sense. The drug dealer, but
give a drug.
I'm not the one who consumes the drug. Yeah. Then I'm like, wow, okay, if you want to put it that way. Yeah. Yeah, but it makes a lot of sense, because social media is a perfect breeding ground for unfair comparisons.
For sure.
Right. People put, including myself, the best foot forward.
Agree.
Right. And that is just reflecting a very small percentage of the real
life.
Yeah. Right. So I really want to just continue to put my presence out there, but I want to get out as soon as I'm done with my content.
Be very cautious, not over comparing.
Very cautious, yeah. I know I cannot not compare, because it's my nature.
Yes.
So the best way I can do is to get out.
Prevent it.
Yeah.
Thank you for being super vulnerable with us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, if I may distill all my learnings and understanding of your journey, just correct me if I'm wrong in any aspect.
Yeah.
Since you joined this career, right, because since the start you wanted stability, something that's secure in terms of career.
Yeah.
And then you consider very logically, probably being art in the junior designer doesn't make sense. I would take the leap of faith. I saw the growth that fuels my progression. I would, let's go, deal with the uncertainty and just double down on it. And true enough, you saw concrete evidence that, like, with the right mentorship, with the right support, I can fly. And that was your next, probably the next milestone for you.
Yeah.
With 3 years of ongoing leads and everything, you're like stable, sustaining. And suddenly something caught you off guard, leads can be just gone like that. And that sparked a thought in your head that I need to be self-sufficient, which is why the advice you gave to them was very timely. Yeah, I need to take care of myself. No one else is responsible for me. But because your why was so strong, I want to be the best version of myself, to evaluate as many people, because that's how I want to be remembered before the day I die. The strong regret driving force in you fuel you to push through everything that scares you. You create the webinars, those kind of sessions for your friends, seminars for friends. You go and post content online, you share everything that you do, even go out to those kind of road shows, whack camouflage baby fair shares and go and whack people. I think all of these things stem because you just want to not regret. And you want to be the best version of yourself. And that's fuel you to the next milestone. And also the ability for you being so authentic, your kindness, your humility, right, allows you to grow, allows you to be who you are at scale. With attraction game, you attracted right quality people to you, which led you to the next opportunity, leadership.
Yep.
Right? And one thing led to the other, your self-awareness plus a lot of experiences keep compounding like a flywheel effect, which brought you to today's version.
Yeah.
Yeah, did I distill it correctly?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
That really fuels you. It's not those noble goals that you just say for fun, but it's really something simple that meant strongly in your heart.
Yeah.
I just want to be the best version of myself, value adding more people so that people can remember me as someone who value added their lives.
Yeah.
As a result of that, I want to evolve.
That's all. That's all, yeah.
Thank you for sharing, bro.
Me too.
And the last question I want to ask you before you bounce off, right, is that so you have so many upcoming, so many projects on hand, right? Throughout the last 10 years, what's the next upcoming project they are really excited, in doing or building right now?
My second boy.
Yes. When is it due?
Joanne's due 16 November.
Yeah.
So that's about 1 month away. But that would be full term lah. If she delivers before that, between 37 weeks to 40 weeks, that could be any time from end of the month. Any time of the month. So she'll be a ticking time bomb from then.
Happy for you.
Yeah.
Business wise, life wise?
Okay, business wise, I guess we are as a team still at the foundational, building the foundation stage, right? I'm very happy that this year many of them are going to pass with flying colors, right? And if everything goes well, for example, there's gonna be like 4.5 MDRTs upon 5 people.
Wow!
So that's I think that's a very encouraging result. But I won't use that as like, well, I'm very proud of this achievement. I think this achievement is a natural byproduct of instilling the right values and doing the right things, right? And so, but even then, I think we're still very much foundational. I think many of them still needs a lot of support. So the next phase of my business will still be continuously supporting this group of people, these advisors that I have under my wing right now. And I'm looking forward to actually scale my own business so that in terms of my advisory, so I'm looking forward to, number one, I'm attending a numerology class.
Okay, I'm interested in that too.
Actually, recommended by Eric Feng.
Nice.
Yeah. Because I believe in the universe of things. I believe in law of attraction.
Likewise.
Numbers tell us certain things about ourselves. True. Right? So I'm going to attend a numerology class. I'm going to take my papers M6, M6A, because one of my guys, he wants to do ETF, so I have to take that paper. Right? I'm intending to take a high net worth certification class by Kaplan. Right? So to up my skill set, and so that I can lead them to high net worth markets as well.
Beautiful.
Right? And last but not least, there's a lot of things. I'm an over-ambitious person, but one thing at a time, one day at a time, right?
For sure.
Doesn't mean I cannot lay them all out on the table. I can, right? Yeah. Just tackle one thing at a time. I'm intending to write a book, and this is actually inspired by my 2 boys, right? Like, I want to pass down a legacy for them. I want to, teach them how to live life, and I call it the 52 Reflections for Living a Great Life. That'll be my book title.
Send me a copy.
Please.
I'm definitely down with it.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Correct. So it'll be like 52 learning lessons of what I've picked up in this, 32 years of my life. And I want to pass it down to them to teach them.
Yeah.
Right. Not pass down money per se, but pass down life lessons.
Yeah, for sure. Education.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for sharing from the bottom of your heart. And those of you, now that we come to the end of this podcast, those of you who really like Jiale and really want to follow him, where can they find you at, Jiale?
You can find me on Instagram. It's at hello.jiale.
Right, amazing. Once again, thank you so much for coming on this podcast.
Thank you, Daryl. Thank you.
Thanks, JM.